Why does Justin Welby feel as though it's his duty to talk about absolutely everything?
Because he's got this sort of, I think I saw this in the Spectator earlier, milk and water ideology where they have absolutely no principles. I mean, the fact is he's a public figure, he's a religious figure, he shouldn't be commenting on these issues. And I think he's actually got the history wrong here. I mean, the Treaty of Versailles was not as punitive as many historians have made them out to be. Actually, the revisionist school of thought within his historiography have actually argued that the Treaty of Versailles wasn't punitive enough. They didn't have any measure that sort of meant that these things would be dried out. Hitler ended up actually just going against it entirely, and it meant that the Allies actually decided, you know what, we'll let him increase the army. So I think he's got his history wrong. He shouldn't be commenting on it.
But what I find interesting is the wider discussion about Justin Welby, because he is wading in on all things political, the Rwanda scheme, for example, also now almost kind of really revising Christianity in many ways to do with same-sex marriage and all of this. And I'm just wondering, do you think he maybe thinks that he is God?
I don't know if he thinks he's God, but I think he definitely thinks he has the right to sort of change history. I mean, again, when it comes to Russia-Ukraine, this sort of revisionist comparisons to historical events, I think, is just unhelpful. I don't think he thinks he's God. I think he does think he's a slightly almighty figure where he thinks he can change those things. I mean, look, whatever your views are on homosexuality and whether you believe that within, Christianity, same-sex marriage is allowed or not, or if it is a sin or not, whatever you think that, if you think that's the case, it is pretty clear in the Bible. And again, it is this sort of revisionist school of thought.
What is really fascinating, though, is at the minute we have a situation in Scotland where Kate Forbes expresses her own views. Now, plenty of people disagree with them, by the way. I don't happen to agree with everything that she says. She takes what would you say, an evangelical, fundamentalist Christian approach to things like gay marriage, etc., which, by the way, is echoed in pretty much every single major world religion. There's similar views there. That potentially is going to bar her from high office. Tim Farron, something similar happened to him, although I doubt the Lib Dems would have won by a landslide anyway. So you've got these things, but then here we have a religious figure who just can't stop getting involved in politics, and everyone just hangs on his word. And I don't understand that.
You're absolutely right. I mean, my family are Muslim, and I'll be pretty open about the fact that many members of my family don't believe that homosexuality is OK, that they do believe that it's a sin. Would they ever want that to be legislated on? Absolutely not. And I think that's the same case with Kate Forbes. Clearly, what we have here is a religious figure that wants to butt into politics all the time. And actually, they've got something fundamentally wrong here. Putin is an aggressor. Putin is, it was a year ago today that he invaded Ukraine, a sovereign country. And whether you think that we should be spending taxpayer money over in Ukraine is, again, an entirely different conversation. But we cannot be making these unhelpful historical comparisons. He's got it wrong, and he shouldn't be commenting on these things.
No, should he get his own house in order before he starts getting involved with everything else?
Well, I think he should get those debates within Christianity in order before he starts commenting on Russia, Ukraine, or whatever else he wants to comment on. But yeah, I think, look, he needs to sort of sort out those things that are happening within the United Kingdom, within Christianity, within those own domestic debates, which he should be an expert on, and then sort of leave Russia, Ukraine, leave that to the foreign policy experts.
Yeah, indeed. All right.